So, good afternoon or good morning to everyone, and welcome to our laboratory. This is Lab 1. My name is Ada Rodriguez, and I'm part of the Circular Economy team at Hecho por Nosotros. And it's a pleasure to have you here today, and I want to thank you for choosing to join our session. Our laboratory is called When AI Supports a Craft, Transforming Technical Knowledge into Accessible Tools for Artisan Communities. And today's laboratory presents a practical case study developed by our circular economy team at Hecho por Nosotros. Throughout this session, we'd like to share not only the final outcome, but also the journey that brought us here. So you will see how sustainability and artificial intelligence can complement each other to make technical knowledge more accessible while preserving local knowledge, cultural heritage, and also human-centered learning. So before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce the people who made this project possible. Today, I'm joined by Raquel Dominguez, who will introduce the original supply chain guide developed by our team and explain how we first explored AI as a tool to make this knowledge more accessible. And we also have here with us Maximiliano. He's an anthropologist and also volunteer at Hecho por Nosotros, who conducted interviews with artisan communities and helped us better understand the real barriers they face when accessing technical sustainability knowledge. And during the discussion, we'll also be joined by members of our team, including Teresa Solomon, Aishi Badra, and I think Aurelia Siles couldn't be today here, but yeah, she also collaborated with us, and also other people like Natalie, that she's in another lab. So yeah, all these people contributed to different stages of this project and will help us reflect on its broader implications. So I would now like to, well, sorry, I forgot to pass the slide. Here are all of us. Yeah. So now I would like to invite Raquel to begin by taking us back to where this project started. And yeah, and later I will show you the video that we created. So Raquel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ada. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Raquel Dominguez. I'm a certified public accountant and an expert in entrepreneurship and sustainability. I'm representing Hecho por Nosotros team. And first of all, I want to say a few words to my colleagues on the circular economy team. Thank you for the wonderful work you've been carrying out under Adriana's leadership. What you are about to see today is in large part the result of that vision and that ongoing commitment. Today, I want to tell you about the work we've been developing over the past few months. We carried out a research on supply chain best practices for textile artisans, which resulted in a step-by-step guide based on circular economy principles. As we arrived at the document, I'll go on to explain, we ask ourselves a key question. How do we make sure this knowledge doesn't stay in theory, but can actually be put into practice? This is the main question. We needed to explain it in the most accessible, easy to understand way with really artisans and their very diverse realities in mind. With that goal, we applied artificial intelligence tools and managed to translate these concepts into a video generated entirely with AI, which will play at the end of this talk. So now let me tell you what was the guide about. We start from a simple but powerful idea. Every fashion business, no matter how small, is part of a value chain that extends far beyond its own walls. That chain has three sections that we call upstream, meaning everything that happens before raw material reaches our hands. Suppliers and suppliers all the way to the fiber itself, then our own operations, everything we do ourselves, design, production, quality control, and finally downstream, what happens after the product leaves our hands. Distribution, sale, use, and eventually repair, reuse, or recycling. It is important to distinguish between two concepts that are often confused. The supply chain is actually the upstream part of this chain, the network of suppliers. The value chain is the broader concept, which also includes our own operations and everything that happens after the sale. And why does this matter for a textile artisan? Because understanding this chain allows for better decision making at three levels: long-term strategic decisions, such as choosing suppliers, planning decisions, such as calculating how much raw material is needed, and day-to-day operational decisions. The guide identifies very concrete, applicable strategies that don't require large investment. First, managing materials efficiently, reducing scraps, reusing leftovers, designing with material efficiency in mind from the very start. A simple example. Let's think about a denim workshop that sorted its scraps by size and created a line of bags and blankets, turning waste into a new source of revenue. Second, strengthening relationships with suppliers that an artisan's community. Paying fair prices, respecting production's timelines, building long-term agreements. This isn't just an ethical matter, it also reduces uncertainty and strengthens the reliability of the entire chain. Third, designing for durability and traceability. Products with identity, with a clear story behind them, allow artisans to justify fair pricing and more away from competing on cost alone. And a fourth point is, which we see as central, is communication. If we don't talk about what we do, it is as if it doesn't exist. Sharing who made the product, where the material comes from, and how the work was paid for builds a trust that no advertising can match. The guide also offers something very valuable for organizations like ours that work with artisans: an evaluation frame adapted to different levels of capacity. You don't need sophisticated systems to start measuring the impact of sustainable practices. From a simple notebook of observations to digital traceability systems, every organization can move forward according to its own resources, applying a continuous improvement cycle: plan, do, check, and act. In short, sustainability in the textile chain is not a luxury reserved for big brands. It is an accessible management tool that starts with small, measurable steps, and for artisans, it often simply means putting a name to practices that they already been doing all along. So with this foundation, we decided that the best way to bring these concepts to artisans was through a story. That's why we created, using artificial intelligence, a dialogue between Adriana and Jose, a traditional weaver that walks step by step through his own supply chain, from raising his sheep and shamas through washing, natural dyeing, and weaving, to the sale and end of life of each piece. I invite you to watch it. Let's see it. Please, Ada.
Thank you so much, Raquel. Yeah, let's go.
Economía circular para artesanos textiles. Adriana, experta en economía circular, acompaña a José, tejedor artesanal, en un viaje para transformar su cadena de abastecimiento desde la lana de oveja y llama hasta el tejido final, sin desperdicios y con más valor. José y su mundo, el tejedor de la región. ¿Quién es José? José es un artesano textil que cría ovejas y llamas en su región. Esquila la lana a mano, la hila en casa y teje en telares tradicionales. Vende sus piezas en mercados locales y a turistas. Su reto hoy: José desperdicia retales, pinturas sobrantes y lana de baja calidad. No sabe cómo reutilizarlos ni cómo conectar mejor las distintas fases de su producción para ganar eficiencia y dinero. Adriana presenta: ¿qué es la economía circular? José, imagina que nada de lo que produces se tira, todo vuelve al ciclo. Diseñar sin residuos. Cada material se planifica desde el inicio para tener una segunda vida. Mantener en uso la lana, los tintes y los retales circulan en lugar de ir a la basura. Regenerar el entorno. Las prácticas circulares cuidan el pasto, el agua y los animales de la región. La cadena de abastecimiento de José, paso a paso, cría, ovejas y llamas en pastoreo. Lavado, limpiar e hilar la lana. Teñido, tintura, natural con plantas, tejido, telar tradicional artesanal. Adriana le explica a José que su cadena ya tiene 5 eslabones claros. La economía circular actúa en cada uno de ellos para reducir pérdidas y crear más valor en cada etapa. Eslabón 1, materia prima, lana de oveja y llama. Adriana le dice a José: la lana de segunda calidad que ahora tiras puede convertirse en relleno para cojines o fieltro para vender a otras artesanas. No es basura, es un subproducto. Clasificar la lana por calidad y longitud de fibra. Usar la lana corta para fieltro o rellenos. Compartir esquileos con vecinos para reducir costes. Eslabón. 2. Producción. Teñido y tejido circular. Tintes naturales y reutilizables. Adriana le enseña a José a usar cebolla, nogal o índigo. El agua de tintura sobrante puede reutilizarse o filtrarse de forma natural, sin contaminar el arroyo. Retales. De sobra a recurso. Los retales de tejido se convierten en bolsos, marcapáginas o parches bordados. José aprende a calcular patrones para minimizar el corte desde el inicio. Diseño para desmontaje. Adriana sugiere combinar fibras que sean fáciles de separar al final de la tela del tejido para poder reciclar cada fibra por separado. Eslabón 3. Distribución y venta con valor circular. Del mercado local al cliente consciente. Con plantas y tejida a mano. Etiqueta con origen, lana de llama de la sierra de QR con vídeo del proceso de elaboración. Embalaje reutilizable con tela sobrante. Oferta de reparación o devolución de piezas viejas. Eslabón 4. Colaboración y simbiosis entre artesanos. José, ¿y si lo que te sobra a ti le falta a tu vecina? Red de intercambio local. José comparte su lana de baja calidad con artesanas que hacen fieltro. Ellas le devuelven colorante sobrante. Nadie compra lo que ya existe en la comunidad. Compras colectivas de insumos, varios artesanos se unen para comprar mordientes naturales o embalajes en mayor cantidad, reduciendo el coste por unidad y el impacto ambiental del transporte. Talleres de formación compartidos. Adriana facilita sesiones donde José y sus vecinos aprenden juntos técnicas de aprovechamiento de residuos, diseño regenerativo y etiquetado de producto. Eslabón 5. Fin de vida. La lana siempre vuelve. La clave que Adriana quiere que José recuerde. La lana es una fibra 100% biodegradable y reciclable. Un tejido que ya no sirve nunca debería ir al vertedero. Programa de devolución. El cliente trae su pieza vieja a cambio de descuento. La lana recuperada se rehila o se convierte en aislante natural. Los restos más cortos se compostan para abonar el prado donde pastan las ovejas. El ciclo cierra. El prado alimenta al animal, el animal da lana, la lana vuelve al prado. Lo que José aprendió con Adriana. 5 eslabones circulares. Cada etapa de su cadena puede mejorar con economía circular. Residuos sin valor. Todo subproducto tiene un uso. Venta, intercambio o abono. 3 nuevos productos. Fieltro, rellenos y parches nacen de lo que antes era basura. El mensaje final de Adriana. José, la economía circular no es una moda. Es la forma en que tus abuelos ya producían. Sin desperdiciar nada, cuidando la tierra y colaborando con los vecinos. Solo necesitas ponerle nombre y contárselo al mundo.
Perfect. I love this video. As you saw, technology can be a great ally in bringing these concepts to life in a simple, relatable way, and that exactly was the challenge. Now Maximiliano will dive deeper into next. He'll tell us more about how we are applying artificial intelligence as a tool for empowerment for the artisans and communities we work with. Before I close, I want to highlight that our work doesn't end with the research itself. Our mission also includes sharing these findings and the impact we've been able to bring to artisans' communities. That's why we are talking part today in the high-level political forum on sustainable development organized by ECOSOC with our official side event, and why we are also take part alongside other organizations such as FESEM, that is an international organization of women entrepreneurs, with whom we recently shared the results of this research at a sustainable tourism event. And thank you very much for your attention. It is a privilege for me to share our experience with the Hecho por Nosotros Animara team. And now I'll hand it over to my colleague Maximiliano.
Thank you very much, Raquel. It's a pleasure to meet you, all of you here. As Raquel said, our main goal is to introduce sustainability and value chain and supply chain concepts to the artisans communities in order to improve their production and the scale of their sellings and production methods too. So to begin with, the problematization, we started with the artificial intelligence, but before that, we found during the document dialogue we had during our meetings that the concepts inside the document were not accurate for the artisans communities. So they were orientated to small businesses, specifically industrial businesses, with concepts like supply chain, provision, raw material, and they were imagining a scale that artisan communities do not manage at all. So, and the document originally was written in English. That was another barrier because most of the artisan communities do not speak English; they speak Spanish. So our first situation was to how we translate the document into Spanish and keep the core concepts clear for them. So after that, I came up with the idea to conduct a research. You can pass the slide, Ada, please. In order to acknowledge the necessities and the problems that the artisan communities are facing. Because when I joined circular economy team, I found that they did not have any idea about the artisans communities and how capacity building, which is the area I came from, worked. So I decided to present them a plan with a method and a technique to acknowledge the problems of the artisan communities and their economic nature, to give them an objective picture of the social condition. And this little investigation was about the last three communities that Hecho por Nosotros has been recently working with. So I decided to interview the three leaders of each community to approach to acknowledge their production methods and cultural context. And to do that, I designed a little survey with the topic questions orientated to the things we wanted to know about them, but also to make them feel comfortable and close to the NGO. So the communities are from Mexico and Argentina. Two are from the South American country, while the one left is located in North America. So can you pass the slide? And the three cases of study use an anthropologic approach that I considered it's very accurate to know what we wanted to know about them, and to get close the concepts of sustainability to the communities, because we wanted to to know the production and works, how economic production works in artisan economies, we needed to study them to approach the necessities, and we use it an anthropological approach, as I said. The empirical approach was the non-direct interview via Zoom, because we are geographically far away from them, and uses this survey as a guide. The interview were conducted to the three leaders of the communities, and what we can find is that they are very different from each other. They're very different to each other in social structure and economic dynamic. The first artisan community is Sachamama, located in the Santiago del Estero province in the center of Argentina. Can you pass the slide so they can see the map? The second community is Sausalito, located in Jujuy, in the north of Argentina, and the third community is Leone Vicario, located in Quintana Roo, Chiapas, Mexico. However, as I said, the social dynamic and economic dynamic among them is very different. The Sachamama works as a cooperative business founded by a group of women. They have a brand, they have social networks, a very clear supply chain, and the main product is textile craft made of wool. And the main problem they are facing now are the high prices in the cost of the wool. While Sausalito is the poorest of three of them, because they are not a cooperative or nor a business and a formal business. They are a group of they are organized in group of families, domestic units, and they are not close to each other, and that dynamic it's very harmful for their economy, because each family pays for its own production and its own raw material. They are trying now to produce their own wool, but they are facing very big problems in that. Plus, they are facing two choke points that I called choke logistic points and choke in commercial and marketing points. Why? The logistics, because they don't have any transport on their own. They have to move the goods using the bus system and the public transport, and they have to pay a lot. The fee is very high to move the goods and to move the raw material from the provider. And the other problem is the commercial choke, because the market are very far from the community, and also they have to move them using the bus system. And in the third place, Leone Vicario, it's the most solid community of the three. Why? Because they're a small group of women that are gathered around the workshop, and they work together and they help each other for example, in taking care of the kids or in the production. Can you change the slide? The Leone Vicario, as I said, is a group of female artisans gathered around the workshop, more like a working group, while Sachamama is a cooperative business. But the difference of in Leone Vicario's case is that they have a very strong support of the government, and they have access to the city fair. So they have the demand for the products is assured due to this. Can you move the slide? There? So to finish with this, we found 3 different cases, and we had to adapt the concepts of supply chain to them, and according to their difficulties. And one thing that we found is that they already have notions of sustainability, but the thing is that they don't use the same words that we use in the document. For example, I will give you a simple example: costs. They won't tell you, yeah, because we have 20% higher cost in wool. No, they will say we are wasting a lot of money in wool. We know it because why we know it? Because we are working extra hours every day. So this condition makes everything different, because we have to know that they already have these concepts in their minds, because they already know what they are dealing with. The thing is that they don't have probably the scientific categories that we use, and at that point is that we can help them not only by using this document, but also with the AI tools, for example. So, and I give you the word, Ada, for the last slide, and to finish with the presentation.
Thank you so much, Maximiliano. It's a pity that we cannot see your image, but at least we were hearing your speech all the way. Yeah, now I wanted to, maybe we still have, I think, 2 minutes, maybe more. Let's see when they close our breakout room. But yeah, thank you very much, Maximiliano and Raquel. And I particularly appreciate one of the main lessons from this work, that is that technology alone doesn't create accessibility. Accessibility begins with listening, and yeah, once we understand people's realities, and then technology, and in our case the AI, can become a meaningful bridge rather than simply another digital tool, like to plug it there. So yeah, after this being said, I would like to open the word to anyone that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions to Raquel or Maximiliano regarding this presentation, and maybe we can have a nice dialogue and see our insights. So yeah, feel free. You can unmute yourself and ask straight away.
Hello.
Hello, Hannah. Hello.
How are you? Thank you very much. I really enjoyed your presentation. Okay, I'm Hanat Musa, and I'm a founder of a heritage conservation consultancy in Egypt.
Nice.
I'm really here meant by the knowledge transfer between the generations and from the traditional economic systems to the contemporary, and how that concept, how you dealt with that concept in your case, in the 3 cases.
Is this question for Maximiliano or for Raquel, or in general?
I think for Maximiliano.
Okay.
Well, hello, Hannah. Yeah,
Hello.
nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for your question. I think I think I deal with that situation in a very using an empathic approach. Thanks for thanks to my professional background. I think we found as a team, not only me but also with the help of the rest of the team, the right questions, and those right questions could help me to conduct the investigation and make the survey for them. And the interview, it's a, how can I say it? It's a formal, or maybe an not the exactly word for what I lived with the artisans. It was more like a dialogue I had with them, and I let them express all the things they wanted to tell, or if they were not open to tell me some information, they were completely free for to do that. We didn't press them at any moment to do that. So and I think that that situation allow us to know and to collect very clear information about their context and about their necessities and about their local knowledge and cultural context, because they are very open to let you know how they do the things, how they work with the providers, how they the issues they face every day. And in that dialogue, you can collect a lot of precious information. And I think that that was the core. In to link this to the AI tools, we have after the research, we have a very, I would say that a very deep conversation about this topic and the introduction of AI tools to their communities. Sorry, because there are many not only technological barriers but also ethic barriers related to the local knowledge and the things because the cultural patrimony. What we the conclusion we came up with is that we have to be all the clear as we can when we when we want to teach them about these tools, and all the time keep in our minds that they are tools. It's not their obligation to use them. It's only something that you can use to improve your business, your economy, your daily life. You're not obliged to use it, and that's it. I think we are done.
Yeah, we are. Am I mute? I don't know. Yes, we only have 48 seconds, 47, 46. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining